Peace, family. Hope all is well. Today I want to talk to you guys about debt validation, okay? I have a nice presentation for you so I can bring you guys the understanding of privacy that goes along with it. Let's get right into it. And what I want you guys to realize, okay, is that debt validation is not just about confirming the accuracy of a debt, okay? It's also about protecting your fundamental right to privacy, all right? When debt collectors attempt to collect a debt, they must follow strict guidelines, family. They have to ensure that they do not violate your privacy or other legal protections. All right. Understanding the severity of privacy violations and the laws designed to protect you is crucial in holding these companies accountable. All right. Now let's look into it, family, how debt collectors can, invade your privacy. Debt collectors often use aggressive tactics that can infringe on your right to privacy. All right. Including, unlawful sharing of information, as well as harassment and unnecessary contact, misrepresentation or fraud, as well as unauthorized credit reporting access. Okay, so let's come up here to unlawful sharing of information. All right, discussing your debt with third parties, such as family members, neighbors, or employers without your consent. That's a way that they invaded. All right, let's get down to harassment and unnecessary contact. Calling you excessively, contacting you at inappropriate times, or using threatening language. All right. Another way, misrepresentation or fraud, pretending to be a government agency or misrepresenting the amount owed to intimidate you into paying. All right. And lastly here, unauthorized credit report access, family. Major. All right. The fact that they're even pulling your credit report without a valid reason, that's violating your financial privacy. Let's continue to why this matters, family. These invasions of privacy can cause stress, reputational harm, and financial damage, okay? Understanding these tactics allows you to recognize when your rights are being violated. You need to be mindful of this, family. If they do any of these things, they have violated your privacy. All right, and secondly, another major thing here is federal laws that protect your privacy. Let's look into it, starting with the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act. As you can see here, also known as the FDCPA, family. All right, so some of our key protections. What it does is it prohibits debt collectors from discussing your debt with unauthorized third parties. All right, also limits contact to reasonable hours, as they spoke of in the last slide. These are the times federally regulated, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. All right, and also it prohibits harassment, threats, or use of deceptive practices. These things occur. This is what you can stand on. All right. Now, penalties for the violation. Consumers can sue for damages, including statutory damages, up to $1,000. And that's per damage. All right. As well as your attorney fees. Let's continue. Another one. All right. Fair Credit Reporting Act, the FCRA, family, are key protections here. Regulate how debt collectors access and use your credit report. And secondly, it requires accurate reporting of debts and allows consumers to dispute inaccurate information. And our penalties for violation. Consumers can seek actual damages or statutory damages up to $1,000 for willful violations. And if you join the Grown Academy, family, you will know exactly how you can enforce these things and what these actual damages are per 1,000. Per statute, 4 per 1,000. Let's continue. The Telephone Communications Practices Act, the TCPA, family. All right, some key protections here. It restricts the use of robocalls, and I know y'all get a lot of those, or pre-recorded messages without your prior consent. That's major under the TCPA. You should look into it. All right. It also limits unsolicited calls and texts to your cell phone. These spam calls, you can actually convert those into revenue, all right, as long as you know how to approach these things. The link is in the bio here at the Grown Academy, family. I highly encourage you to tap into that, become a free member, and go through this material. All right. Next, the penalty for the violations. Consumers can claim damages of $500 to $1,500 per illegal call or text. Rack them up. Let's continue. All right. Thirdly here, common law protections, In addition to federal laws, common law principles provide further protection, So A here, our right to privacy. Let's define it. Under common law, individuals have the right to be free from intrusion into their personal lives. All right. What's the application? Unauthorized contact or disclosure of personal information may constitute an invasion of privacy, family. All right. And B, breach of contract. Let's define it, okay? If a debt collector fails to honor a payment agreement or misrepresents terms, it could be a breach of contract. The application of it, consumers may seek remedies for damages caused by these breaches. Let's continue. All right. Number 4, the importance of debt validation in protecting privacy, family. All right. Let's look into it. Debt validation requests are a powerful tool for defending your privacy and ensuring compliance with the law, okay? Now, verifies legitimacy, all right? It ensures the debt is valid and that the collector has the right to pursue it, all right? It establishes boundaries. It forces debt collectors to follow strict guidelines and limits unnecessary contact, all right? Now, provides documentation here is creates a paper trail in case of future disputes or violations. Highly encourage you to keep all of these things that they send you on your records, okay? And lastly here, it halts illegal practices, stops it in its tracks, okay? Debt collectors must pause collection efforts until validation is provided. That's major key, family. Therefore, they're not reporting these things and they must cease it, all right? And must have verifiable proof that they stopped reporting on it while this thing was occurring. Let's continue. All right. And fifthly, all right, practical steps to protecting your privacy. Let's start with A here. Monitor your credit report. Regularly check for unauthorized inquiries or inaccurate information. B, okay, use debt validation letters. Okay, I have a template for that in the Grown Academy through the link in my bio if you need it. Okay. Now let's look into it. Send a formal debt validation request under the FDCPA section 809. Okay, and I spoke about that in my last video, the scenario I was giving you between the consumer and how they were dealing with the collection agent. All right, that's in my very last video here. Now let's continue. Document all interactions. Keep records of calls, letters, and emails for evidence in case of disputes. D, all right, report violations. File complaints with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, Federal Trade Commission, FTC, or your state attorney general. And E, consult legal professionals. All right. Seek advice from attorneys experienced in consumer protection laws. Let's continue. And lastly here, family, okay, consequences for debt collectors who violate privacy. All right, major key. Now, when debt collectors violate your privacy or fail to comply with the law, they can face fines and penalties, okay? Statutory damages as outlined in federal laws. Consumer lawsuits, okay? Consumers can sue for actual damages, emotional distress, and attorney fees, all right? And loss of credibility. Repeated violation may lead to fines, suspension, or loss of license. Let's get into it. Let's continue here to the link in the bio, all right? On this TikTok channel here or on this YouTube channel here, wherever you're watching it at, I have my Patreon link in the bio, okay, or in the description. You can click on it, okay? Become a free member. You'll have access to this PowerPoint as well as the validation template, all right? Now, to bring this full circle, family, okay? Protecting your privacy is an essential part of the debt validation process. You must understand that. By understanding how debt collectors can violate your rights and the legal protections that are available. You don't have to just deal with this stuff and not have a means of remedy here, okay? You're able to learn that here at the Academy. You can take proactive steps to safeguard your information and hold collectors accountable. Remember, your privacy is a fundamental right, so you must defend it. That's something that you have to do, all right? Now, in closing, family, I hope this helps. And I love you guys. And before we get out of here, a disclaimer. This is not financial advice. This is not legal advice. If you are seeking legal or financial advice, I highly encourage you to seek legal or financial counsel immediately. Now, all in all, family, I truly hope that this helped you guys on your journey. And if you're having any issues with debt collectors, this is a great presentation for you to start with. Also have a template too, and you keep going through this information as much as you need in order to get a sound, understanding, confident, and competent way to see it. All in all, I hope this helps, and I love you guys. Peace.